Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn the fifth form, and it is also the last form of organization. So that is joint stock company, or we can call it as company. Both are same. So basically we started from different form of organization, yes, and we learned about sole proprietorship, then Hindu undivided family, then partnership and cooperative societies. Yes. So today we are going to learn about joint stock company, or we can call company. So see, with the technological improvement, the scale of operation of business has increased, yeah, and the requirement for finance and managerial resources has gone up. So the traditional form of organization such as sole proprietorship or joint Hindu family or partnership could not meet the requirement of business. So the company form of organization has developed as the most suitable alternative, that is joint stock company. So joint stock company is a voluntary association or person for profit and having a capital divided into transferable shares, the ownership of which is the condition of membership. That means a joint stock company is an association of persons that joining together for carrying on business, and they have a separate legal entity, and the person joining the business contribute to the stock of company, and they are called as shareholders. And these joint stock companies, they have to register themselves under the Company Act 2013, and it is also a artificial person created under law. Yes, and this company has perpetual succession. Then they have the common seal. Yes, and shares of the companies are transferable without disturbing its continuity. That means uh, joint stock company is a company of many persons who contribute money or money is worth to a common stock. Yes, and it employ it in some trade or business and who shares the profit or loss. Mm, then we have here features. Number one is incorporated association. So the company must be incorporated or registered under the Company Act 1956. Without registration, no company came into existence. That means this joint stock company, they have to register themselves under the Company Act 1956. Yes, if they will not register, there will be no existence of their company. Like other, like sole proprietorship or partnership or Hindu undivided family, there is not compulsory. They don't. It is not compulsory for them to register themselves. If they willing to do so, they can. But if they are not, it's up to them. But joint stock company, it must have to be registered themselves for the existence. If they will not register, their company will be not formed. They will not exist here. Okay, so they have to register themselves under the Company Act 1956. Number two is separate legal existence. It is created by law and it is a distinct legal entity, independent of its members. It can own property, enter into contracts, can file suits in its own name. Then this company is created under law. Yes, and it has a separate legal entity apart from its members. So a company acts independently of its members, and the company is not bound by the act of its members, and the member do not act as an agent of the company. A person can own its own share and can be a creditor too. And the life of the company is independent of the life of its members. It is not dependent on the members. And the company can sue or to be sued in its own name. Then third one is perpetual existence. Death, insolvency and insanity of change of members has no effect on the life of the company. It comes to an end only through the prescribed legal procedure. That means the company has a permanent existence and the shareholder may come or may go, but the company will not go on forever. So the continuity of the company is not affected by death or lunacy or insolvency of its shareholder. The company can be wound up only by the operation of laws, and the share of the companies may change, hence number of times, but the continuity of the company is not affected at all. Then fourth is limited liability. The liability of every member is limited to the nominal value of the shares bought by him or to the amount granted by him. So the transferability of shares of the public company are easily transferable. But there are certain restrictions on transfer of shares of private company. Common seal. It is the official signature of the company and it is affixed on all important documents of the company. So see, the liability of shareholder is limited to the value of the shares they have purchased. So in case the company incurs huge liabilities, the shareholders can only be called upon to pay the unpaid balance of their shares. So the company, being a separate legal entity, can incur debts by its own name, and the shareholder will not be personally liable for debt. So however, shareholders of an unlimited company have unlimited liabilities, and the liability of members of a company limited by guarantee is limited to the guaranteed amount. Then number 5 is separation of ownership and control. See, the shareholders of a company are widely scattered. Okay, and the shareholder may like to invest money but may not be interested in its management. They will interest in investing the amount, but sometimes it happens they may not be interested in its management. So the company are managed by board of directors. Okay, and the ownership and management are in two separate hands. They are not in one hand. And the shareholder do not get any right to participate in company management, and the right of manage company affairs is vested in the directors, who are elected representatives of the shareholders. Yes. Next is merits and advantages. Number 1 is limited liability. Limited liability of shareholder reduces the degree of risk borne by him. That means the liability of member in a company form of organization is limited, yes, to the nominal value of their share they have acquired. So see, for an example, if a person has purchased a share of rupees 100 and his liability is limited to rupees 100 only, and if the share is partially paid, then he can be required to pay only the unpaid value of the share. So in no case the total payment will exceed rupees 100. So the limited liability encourage many persons to invest in the shares of joint stock company, and many persons will reluctant to invest in those enterprise where liability is unlimited. Next is transfer of interest. Easy transferability of shares increases the attractiveness of shares for investment. That means the share of a public company are freely transferable, and the shareholder can dispose of his share at any time when the market conditions are favorable or he is in need of money. So the company does not return share money before its winding up, but the shareholders can easily sell their shares through stock exchange market, and the stock exchange provided a free market for the purchase and sale of shares. So the facility of transferring shares encourage many persons to invest, and this provide liquidity to the investor. Okay. On the other hand, we can say the partnership form of organization does not provide this type of free transferability of shares, but joint stock can. Then next is perpetual existence. Then existence of a company is not affected by the death and insanity, insolvency of members, or change of membership. Company can be liquidated only as per the provision of Companies Act. We already discussed about that. See, when a company is incorporated, it becomes a separate legal entity. Yes, and it is an entity with perpetual succession. So the members of a company may go on changing from time to time, but it doesn't affect the continuity of company. And the death or insolvency of members doesn't in any way affect the corporate existence of the company. So the continuity of the company is not only in the interest of the members, but it is also beneficial for the society. And the discontinuation of the company may cause wastage of resources and inconvenience to the customer. If it will discontinue, if company will discontinue, it may cause wastage of their resources, and together it will create an inconvenience to the customer also. Next is scope for expansion. A company can collect huge amount of capital from unlimited number of the members who are ready to invest because of limited liability and easy transferability and chance of high return. So see, there is a scope for expansion of the company because it can collect a huge amount of capital from their unlimited members because they have unlimited members, and they are also ready to invest because they have the easily liability, or they can get the easily transferability, and there is also a full chances of return. Yes, so they can easily invest their money in this company. Next is professional management. A company can afford to employ highly qualified experts in different areas of business management. That means this company form of organization, ownership is separate from management. Yes, and it enables the company to appoint expert and qualified person for managing various business functions. And this availability of large scale resources enables the company to attract talented person, because for being handling the management, a person should be qualified or talented. Yes, or he should be expert in that, so that the efficient that educated and that highly qualified or attracted talented person can be attracted by a high salaries and better career opportunities. He will be attracted for that, and the efficient of management will help the company expand and diversify its activities. So we are done with advantages. Then here, limitation or demerits or disadvantages of the joint stock company. Number one is legal formalities. The procedure of formation of company is very long and time consuming, then expensive, and requires lot of legal formalities to be filled. See, to start a business, they have to register themselves, and for registering themselves, they have to do some formalities. Yes, and that promotion of company is not an easy task. Yes, so there a number of stages are involved in company formation. So the suitability of a particular type of business is to be decided first. Then the number of persons should be ready to associate for getting the company incorporated. So a lot of legal formalities are required to be performed at the time of registration. Just like when you go for apply for any job or any register yourself any school or any place, then you need to have follow the lots of formalities you have to follow. So same thing, if they are going to incorporate their business, they have to follow the lots of legal formalities. They have to go through the lots of legal formalities, and the shares will have to be sold during the particular time also. And the promotion of the company is both expensive and risky. Okay, it is very risky. Then lack of secrecy. It is very difficult to maintain secrecy in case of public company, as company is required to publish and file its annual accounts and reports. This management of companies remains in the hands of many persons. Yes, and everything is decided in the meeting of board of directors. And the trade secrets cannot be maintained because they have to call the board of directors, and because of that they cannot maintain a secrecy. And in case of sole trade or partnership concerns, such secrecy is possible because they have very few people. They can decide among them. They can take the decision among them. But for the joint stock company, they have to hold a meeting with the board of director, and many people will come at that meeting, and they will face the lack of secrecy. In case of sole trade and partnership, they concern such secrecy, yes. But because they have the few person involved in the management, but in joint stock, it is not possible. Next is lack of motivation. Diverse between ownership and control, and absence of the direct link between efforts and reward lead to lack of personal interest and incentive. Because see, there are different owner and there are different management or the controller. So the absence of that direct link between themselves, so it create a lack of motivation. The people are only against to benefit themselves. Yes, they are not thinking about the company because they are not getting any reward, benefit or profit for that. So they only think of themselves, and they did not give their best for the initiative or interest of their company. They only think about themselves and their personal benefits, personal interest and personal incentives. Next is delay in decision making. Red tapeism and bureaucracy do not permit quick decisions and prompt actions, so there is a little scope for personal initiative. So see, in company form of organization, no single individual can make a policy decision, yes, because there are lots of members, and the companies will have to follow rules, yes, and all different decisions are taken either by the board of directors or are referred to general houses. So the decision taking process is time consuming. If some business opportunity arises and a quick decision is needed, so it will not be possible to arrange meeting all of a sudden. It will take time to arrange or hold a meeting or call that board of director or general houses. Yes. So because of that, they lose so many opportunities, and they face, because they delay in their decisions, they delay in giving their decisions, so the opportunities of the business may slip from their hand. Yes. Then next is oligarchic management. Company is said to be democratically managed, but actually managed by few people. That is board of directors. Sometimes they take decisions keeping in mind their personal interests and benefits, ignoring the interests of the shareholders. In theoretical, we can say the management of a company is elected by shareholders and board of directors. Yes. But in practically, the number of shareholders is large, and they have role in running the company. So the management is in the hand of the few persons, and they perpetuate their control. But decision making, the people think of themselves and they ignore the benefits of the interests of the shareholders, so they face some problem in their management. Next is types of companies. On the basis of ownership, the companies can be classified in the following categories. Number one is private company and public company. I think you better know what is public company or what is private company. Yes. So private company, according to the Companies Amendment Act 2000, a private company is one which has the following characteristics. And what are they? Number one is it has minimum of 2 and maximum of 50 members excluding the employees. Yes. So private company can be formed if there is only 2 members, and maximum it can go at 50 members. And if they will include the employees, then it will be 200, around 200. But after excluding the members, excluding the employees, there will be 50 members. So minimum 2 or maximum 50 members should be there to form a private company. Number 2 is restrict the rights of members to transfer their shares. So a private company restrict the rights of the member to transfer their share. Private company do not allow their member to share their transfer their shares. Number 3 is doesn't offer its shares to general public. So it prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe to its shares and debentures. Number 4 is doesn't invite general public to invest deposit in the company. It doesn't invite the general public to invest their amount in the private company. They will only invest among the members only. Number 5 is has minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh. So this company can minimum they can pay the amount of 1 lakh. Okay. The next is public company. A public company is one which has minimum of 7 members and maximum no less. Public company has, to form a public company there should be minimum 7 members and maximum there is no limit up to how much it can. Okay. So it can formed with the minimum of 7 members and maximum unlimited. The number 2 permits easy transfer of shares. Public company they easily permits to transfer their share. Number 3 invites general public to subscribe on its public deposits. So it invites the general public to subscribe their shares or debentures or deposit the terms. Number 4 is invites the general public to subscribe of its shares and debentures. Yes. So it invites the general public to subscribe their shares or debentures, or they can invest their deposit in the company. Number 5 is has maximum paid up of capital of 5 lakh. That a private company can register with the paid of capital of 1 lakh, whereas public company is registered with 5 lakhs rupees. Then next is special privileges and exception available to the private company. So following privileges and exemption are available to private company. Number 1 is only 2% minimum are required to form a private company. That means a minimum of 2% can form a private company. Number 2 is it can be incorporated with the paid up share of 1 lakh rupees. That means a private company can be registered with a paid up of capital 1 lakh rupees. Number 3 is private company is not required to issue prospectus. That means a private company they don't have to issue the prospectus. Yes, they can just without the prospectus also they can form their organization or business or company. Number 4 is only 2 members constitute the quorum of meeting office. So that means for the meeting they need only 2 members is also enough. So private company need not have more than 2 numbers as against there is in case of public companies. It need not have independent directors on the board. So it doesn't need the directors on the board because all directors of a private company can be non-rotational directors. Number 6 is a person can be director in 20 companies. That means a person can become a director in maximum of 20 private companies provided none of these companies is a public company. They can be together, they can be at the same time, they can be a director of 20 private companies, but it should not be a public company. Number 7 is rules regarding the overall of maximum limit of manager remuneration do not apply to such companies. That means rules, whatever is regarding to overall the managerial remuneration, it do not apply in this type of companies. Okay, so here we have learned about the privileges and expansion of companies, then types of companies, then limitation of company, then advantages of company and features of company, and what is joint stock company. So here we are done with joint stock company. In next video we will discuss little more about different topics. Till then, take care. Thank you.